Well, after a while, we might, when we get to a job like tonight, we want to have something less currified with some.
I think we will. We might want, for example, sausage pie or
Yes,
bacon and eggs or something like that.
we won't get bacon pies, we'll get beef, which you can't get here.
We might get beef sausage. What was the sausage made out of that we had in Darjeeling? They weren't quite.
I think they were made.
Were they pork fish?
Yeah, because the Napoleon's on Bolivar.
Well, this curry is very, very good indeed. Well, I think
Not quite perfect. I still need to work on my rice cooking.
I'm more optimistic for a draw now, actually, in the Faisal Valley.
Let's do that.
Well, given that all they have to do is
Yeah, but
that for another 3 hours or so.
They should have won a long time. Normally you would say it's easier to back when you know you've got a chance of winning, but when there's no chance at all.
Well, we'll just have to see. But I think if they do lose, I mean it puts England back a bit. Because given Australia's very convincing win over the West Indies, it shows that England, it slightly indicates that England may be a sort of one-hit wonder.
I don't think so.
You disagree?
I disagree, because the first subcontinental tour was always difficult for people to know, just true most of the teams. They should have won the international played very well. On a pitch like this one,
well,
क्या देखते हैं आज हम राजमा और भाईगनबाजी और चावल नाश्ता में खाते हैं. But let's talk in English, that will enable us to have a conversation rather than monologue.
Well, you can see by the surroundings that I'm sitting here in Delhi, of all places, having arrived this morning. What you are witnessing here is a traditional Indian meal. And that little clip you just saw was an example of traditional Anglo-Indian describing his favourite tucker, which is curry.
Absolutely. Although it must be said that this curry isn't particularly Anglo-Indian because, well, it's not sufficiently carnivorous. We'll make up for that tonight when we go to Kareem's musical demon and have some really big kebabs.
You may also have picked up from the tone of the voices here that the situation is a little bit tense. In fact,
Too right it is.
the curry is really a way of taking our minds off a very, very important event that's happening
In Faisalabad.
in Faisalabad.
Not far away from here, indeed.
Not far away from here at all. And what's happening over there is that England are doing very, very badly at cricket. They
Batting out for a draw in the test match, put 4 wickets down for 75 runs. Basically only a couple of hours left to bat, but England collapsed embarrassingly at Multan, and there's a fear this might happen again.
So we are concerning ourselves with curry, which is, as you can see here, and indeed whisky, as you can see here.
Absolutely.
We'll update you on the
Oh,
progress.
and Gertrude Lawrence as well.
And Gertrude Lawrence. We'll update you on the progress later. We left off in the middle of meat and curry. I've now finished that curry, and I've moved on to the traditional pudding, which one has indeed class. It's made very simply, and I'll show you how to do it. 1 bottle of whisky, preferably duty-free, into glass. I've already prepared this one. Soda water, like so. Straight in, no messing about it. There's ice in there already. Maybe difficult to get ice, but if you've got it, damn bonus. Raise the glass slightly. Good bloody smoke, that's how you do it. Cracking.
Well now, sated with curry, I too am going to have my pudding. However, you may observe that I am actually using a proper glass. Mr. King poured his whisky and soda into a steel cup, which, whilst interesting in its way, is somewhat unorthodox and might be confusing to some of our younger viewers, so you might want to watch this demonstration carefully. There we go, into the glass. And as you will observe, the soda water is here, already opened by the expert hands of Mr. King. In it goes, and a perfect Anglo-Indian pudding is prepared. Let me just move the bottle so you can see it better. However, there is one addition which you might make if you feel sufficiently expert, which is, of course, a gold-flake cigarette. Now, this is not to be tried by the inexperienced, but I think you may find it makes a very welcome addition. Let me see if I can get it lit underneath this fan. Another match will be required. I'm a little bit out of practice, I'm afraid. And there you have it. It costs more than a beer, actually. It's 40 rupees for a bottle of tonic water.
Mr. Morrison, or Dr. Morrison, I should say, I see you are smoking a gold-flake cigarette. Are those the traditional cigarettes that would have been smoked during the time of the British?
Well, that's a very interesting question, because there are two schools of thought on this. Goldflake is still a dominant brand in India and comes in many different varieties. This is the premier variety, one might say. Honeydew smooth, as the blurb has it, and is certainly very delicious. However, it comes with a filter, which for many purists would rule it out entirely. And some argue that it is in fact the surviving goldflake of Ireland, which is the true Anglo-Indian goldflake, surviving only in this somewhat remote outpost. However, these are pretty good.
And can you tell us a little bit about the cheroot? And is it still possible to get the cheroot in India?
Now, cheroots are very hard to find these days in India, but the original of the cheroot, many think, came from Manila, and is in fact popular amongst the Spanish. And it was only in the beginning of the 19th century that the British began to adopt these as well. When they couldn't get hold of Manila cheroots, they tried those from Trichinopoli, in the Madras Presidency, and these proved extremely popular. There is still one factory in Trichinopoli, Fenn Thompson & Co., who make these, but they're not at all easy to find.